Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. Today, I'll be focusing on the topic of attachment during infancy, one of the most crucial stages of human development. Attachment is the deep emotional bond that forms between an infant and their primary caregiver, usually a parent or a consistent adult figure. These early relationships are not just about physical care, but also emotional connection. Research shows that strong early attachments are crucial. They help shape the child's future, emotional regulation, social skills, and even how they handle relationships later in life. This concept was first studied in depth by John Bowlby, a British psychologist who emphasized that early relationships, especially in the first year of life, are a foundation for mental health and future development. Now that we understand what attachment is, let's take a closer look at the different styles of attachment that can develop during infancy based on how a caregiver interacts with the child. The first is secure attachment. This occurs when infants feel safe and comforted by their caregiver. They trust that their needs will be met, which creates a strong foundation for emotional security and future relationships. Avoidant attachment is seen in infants who avoid or ignore their caregiver. This often happens when the caregiver is emotionally unavailable or unresponsive, and the infant learns not to rely on them. Next, we have ambivalent or resistant attachment. These infants show clingy behavior, but also resist closeness at the same time. This can be a response to inconsistent caregiving where the infant isn't sure what to expect. Lastly, disorganized attachment is the most concerning. Infants with this style may show fear, confusion, or contradictory behaviors. It's often linked to trauma, neglect, or abuse, where the caregiver is both a source of comfort and fear. Understanding these styles help us see how early experiences shape emotional development, sometimes for life. On this slide, we're focusing on the role of caregivers, which is absolutely central in shaping attachment styles. When a caregiver is consistent, responsive, and emotionally available, it builds a strong sense of trust and safety in the infant. This kind of caregiving fosters secure attachment, which supports healthy emotional growth. On the other hand, when caregiving is neglectful, unpredictable, or emotionally distant, it often leads to insecure attachment. The child may become anxious, avoidant, or confused in their relationships. What's especially important to remember is that early attachment doesn't just affect infancy, it impacts a person's self esteem, ability to form friendships and intimate relationships, and even their mental health well into adulthood. In other words, the quality of early caregiving lays the emotional groundwork for the rest of a person's life. Now, let's take a look at the long term effects of early attachment. Children who are securely attached in infancy often grow up to have a stronger relationships, better emotional regulation, and greater resilience when facing life's challenges. These early positive experiences give them a solid foundation for navigating social and emotional situations. On the flip side, individuals with insecure attachment, whether avoidant, ambivalent, or disorganized, may struggle with trust, self worth, and forming healthy relationships. These struggles often stem from their earliest models of connection and care. Attachment also has a big impact on personality development, mental health, outcomes, and even how people parent their own children later in life. This is why understanding attachment in infancy is so important. It sets a pattern that often echoes across generations. Thank you for listening and have a good day.